Welcome to the Basic Podcast. That's Matt.
That's Eli.
And wow.
We've incurred some damages since the last one that we published.
Incurred some damages?
Yeah.
Are you referring to the podcast that we didn't finish? My fan's on.
Was that on 2?
Yeah.
Let's do 1. That's what we normally do.
Quality content.
Yeah. So we ran into some issues with the last pod. We weren't able to get it out a week ahead of time.
No, so that podcast is gone, and it was a good podcast too.
We'll see. We had built up some videos. I think like 1 week we ended up with like 3 videos or something.
Yeah, we had videos to post.
And I don't remember like talking to you about it, but we ended up like posting them all in the same week.
Yeah.
Instead of like trying to gauge them out, it's like backups.
Well, the one was that Balluminati promo
Yeah.
thing, and we never decided if it was gonna be a podcast week thing, like 1 week
Yeah.
thing. I thought we were just gonna do it in between, but we ended up. You went to Florida for your trip,
Yeah.
which we talked about in the last podcast that didn't go anywhere. But we didn't record on that weekend, so we had to record late, and then we didn't end up having a podcast to post for.
Yeah, the topics of the last one were Florida, the melting pot, terrible restaurant, crocodile bag finally acquired, and the inside joke
Oh, the inside joke. We can talk about that.
of Little Mac.
Yes.
Is that his name?
It was Little Mac.
Oh, yeah. So,
Is my hair a mess?
no, it's fine.
I asked this last podcast.
So, Little Mac's, that's the character on Smash Brothers.
Yeah, Nintendo's Super Smash Brothers game.
Yeah. So,
He's a boxer, right?
yeah, he's a boxer. And we play Smash Bros. With some friends on a regular basis. So anyway, we had convinced these friends that Little Mac was a deranged escapee from a mental asylum
He's a psychopath.
rather than, a boxer.
Rather than a superhero type
Yeah.
boxer that gets his powers from, niceness or something.
So,
I know
so-
nothing about
yeah.
Little Mac for real. Like,
So
I don't
anyways,
even know what he is.
like, some of the animations are just, like, hilariously stupid. Like, a pink jumpsuit with green gloves.
Like, he's got weird outfits for the game,
Yeah.
like, because
So-
you can switch them. So
We convinced everybody he was his origin story was a little out there.
yeah, and it really was not. So that's the
This is the grand reveal.
this is the joke, okay?
Uh,
Little Mac is not from an insane asylum.
Yeah, essentially, I was just taking the Wikipedia information of like how he actually started,
Yeah.
and just like adding in the fantasy or the made up details. Like with he started on Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yeah.
So, just like in the bio, it says after escaping from breaking out of the mental asylum, he ends up seeking refuge at a local gym, and that's where he meets famous boxer Mike Tyson, who takes him under his wing, and he becomes like the greatest boxer of all time.
I wish the story was that interesting.
And then later on down the line in his career, he's he gets abducted and taken back to the asylum again, and that's where he goes into his subconscious, digital, mapped out brain.
Yeah. That came from, there's this costume change where he looks like he's just completely digital, and we're just like, oh, that's when he went into his brain and had to defeat, And we drug this joke out for way too long.
Yeah.
But nobody, only me and Matt are laughing about it because nobody thinks it's not true.
Nobody picked up on it. They actually ended up buying into it and being like, "Wow, that's a really crazy origin story." And I'm like, "Yeah."
I couldn't believe it either when I read it off Wikipedia.
He's got some deranged photos on there, so it really helped with the case.
Yeah.
There's this one where he has like I think it's on the GameCube where he gets angry and he actually fits the
Oh, I saw
profile.
that one.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like he looks like the Hulk, but like a white person. Not extreme.
If the Hulk were normal, would he be white or black? Or a different color?
What do you mean normal?
What ethnicity would the Hulk be if not green?
Most of the characters who play Hulk are Caucasian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that guy who plays him now?
Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah. He's got a little. He's not full Caucasian.
I don't even know.
The
What is he?
He's got to be.
Sorry. What is he?
He's got to be Spaniard or Mexican.
Maybe.
So the Hulk this whole time is like, yeah, crossing the border, I guess.
Dang. Oh, you know what? We got to talk about your bag
Yeah.
again, because we had a joke that we came up with last time.
Yeah, I was
that we
thinking
want to
back on
continue through the podcast.
that. I was thinking back on that, but I don't remember what it was. Exactly.
I remember what it was.
Okay.
So I need to say the joke.
So,
You'll remember.
yeah. What was it?
Who's that bag for?
Okay, who's that bag for? That's the one. So I went ahead and bought the bag, and
I love how we switched from with the Incredible Hulk's authenticity without deciding what it is. We're just like, yeah, okay. Come talk about your crocodile bag.
So I went ahead and bought the bag, and obviously when you're buying a bag as a man, it's not necessarily for you.
Not usually, no.
Yeah. So the lady asked me who the bag was for, and I was just like, myself. Oh,
okay.
well, it looks good.
Well, it's this crocodile leather bag,
yeah.
and you said it was shiny, right?
It's a little shiny.
Yeah.
Like, it's not bad. Like, I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm planning on wearing it a little bit, like, trying to rough it up a little.
Yeah.
Also, I put, like,
Rub sandpaper on it.
no, God, no. Also, I put, like, the strap on it that's a little bit longer and a little more masculine that makes it look
So
a
it
little
looks
better.
more like a satchel than a...
Yeah.
Okay.
Than, like, just a really big purse.
Does it look more like a duffel bag than a purse?
It's a mix, for sure.
Okay.
That was the one drawback of this one, was because the Louis bag definitely looked pure duffel, because it was like
Yeah.
a straight circle, you know.
I feel like I'm way over here.
But yeah. So the bag.
So when you bought the bag, they were asking you who it was for.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about getting any bags?
No.
No.
The only time I've ever thought about getting a bag was a backpack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, okay, so in today's age, right? Is the man bag really? Is it becoming?
I don't even know. I think so.
Like, is it becoming like something that is normal for guys to wear?
I haven't seen many guys wearing them.
Well,
But the
we
talk-
do live in the South.
The talk about it is pretty real, I think.
Well, if you look at like male celebrities, a lot of them carry bags.
Yeah.
But at the same time, celebrities get away with a lot of things.
I'm sure if I took a trip to Los Angeles, just walked around, I'd see plenty of guys with bags.
See, like, here's the thing that gets me, right, is so, like, on Instagram and other places, you'll see photos of guys are walking around with bags, like business casual or yada yada, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's actually really a hassle to, like, carry a bag if you're planning on, like, going into a store or something.
Yeah.
Because it's weird for a guy to bring a bag into a store.
Yeah.
Because the first thing they think is he's going to rob the place.
He's got a gun or he's got room for cash in that bag.
Yeah. So like, if you're, like, going to go out with it, you need to be going to, like, somewhere that isn't, like, just a regular store.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a little weird.
Though what robber would bring a
Crocodile, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
who would bring a crocodile leather bag in? Like, you obviously have enough money for that.
Like, bring a crocodile bag in and just rob the place. Like, You like still like $50 from the drawer.
This is all we have. I wanted to get my money back on this crocodile bag.
But like at the same time, there are some places where like I'm just like, you know what? I'm like paying money or spending money here. I'm just gonna do what I want. Like Vicari in Corinth, when I went with my dad,
Yeah.
it was the only time I'd seen him in like a few months. We were gonna do Christmas, right?
Yeah, you talked about it before.
Well,
I think it was last episode
Yeah,
that we
but-
actually put out.
but the thing I'm bringing up about it is, so I'm like, I wanted to get him a gift, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not going back to his place, and he's not coming back to mine. We're just having dinner there, and it's kind of a nice restaurant.
Yeah.
So I'm like, should I just, like, I had like this big, moderately big, so it's kind of awkward just bringing in this wrap present. So I'm like, hey, screw it, I'll just do it anyway. So we're like sitting down at like this I don't know, it looks almost like a 5-star restaurant, even though it's not that high.
Yeah.
And we're just like opening presents at the table. Like everybody's who's there is
I
like,
would do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
I mean, I
dressed-
wouldn't go to like a Chili's and do that. Maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, out of all the restaurants,
you wouldn't go
I would
to
go to
like
it-
a Chili's.
I would go to a Chili's over
Yeah.
a Burger King, obviously, to unwrap presents.
Yeah.
But like Vicari sounds like a place that I would unwrap
Yeah.
presents at.
So we're just like opening presents at the table. And so it's funny because like with the presents I got him a couple things and put it in a box.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really find a box that would fit it right that was just like a plain cardboard box. So I ended up fitting his presents in like this Nike shoe box.
Hmm.
So he's like opening up a Nike shoe box.
So he's like, "Do I get Nikes?" Was what you got him more expensive than Nikes?
No. Well, it really depends on the Nikes.
Aw.
They actually go. You can get them really cheap sometimes.
Mm. I was gonna say something. Oh, so they asked you who the bag was for. How many times did they ask you when you bought it?
Probably 3 times.
Three
Three different people.
Three different people asked you.
Yeah.
Gosh.
But like, sometimes you just gotta be like, screw it, you know.
Yeah. You gotta commit. Like after you tell the first 2 people, you're like,
Yeah.
it's for me. Who's the bag for? Darn it. It's for me.
So you said you had some topics for tonight, potential.
Well, we used all our topics on the last podcast that didn't
Yeah.
go. Well, it's not that the podcast didn't go well. It was a perfect podcast. Like it was, if I say so myself, as
Yeah,
good
that
as
was
number
good.
as good as number 2. Like it was great. And then the video cut out halfway through, and then my audio had problems, and which I tested and they are working. So
Testing.
I tested mine and Matt's audio to make sure that we didn't have this buzzing noise that we had last time. I do have something funny to talk about. But so I didn't get to release it, and it's really sad. So most of the topics that we would be talking about would be from that.
Honestly, after we were dealt like that devastating blow, we've been like professionally crippled ever since. So the fact,
Professionally crippled?
yeah, the podcast.
Oh yeah. It's
So
like, oh man.
the fact that we're even here today doing one is a real testament to the dedication that we've had. Because like after that pod, we suffered those technical difficulties. I could barely even get myself out of bed the next morning. I don't know about you.
It was pretty rough,
Like,
especially with those memes you were sending me of my face from the little bit of video that we had.
so we take the videos on my camera, right? And I got after the pod, it really wasn't gonna work out because I ran up the data on my phone, so I only got like half the video. So I got bored, and I'm like just going through and like pausing.
He kept like pausing the video on these weird, terrible faces I'm making.
Yeah.
And he's like, time to meme it up. And he just sends them to me like I
So-
said, there's a problem with the audio. There's like a consistent humming throughout the entire thing of mine, and he's like, "Oh, that sucks." And then later he sends me, "I think I know what's causing the humming," and I was like, "Well, I think it was just like the recording wasn't plugged in all the way." And then he just sends me a picture of myself doing this, and it looks like
It
I'm
looks
like,
like he's
looks like
humming.
I'm like, and he's like, "This is the culprit," and I was like, "Oh God."
Yeah, but I mean, at least we got those out of that, right?
Yeah, at least we got some memes. There's one where I just look like, and we want to send it to some
Yeah.
meme people. Just be like, "Make me famous, please." They just like send it everywhere.
So that's a trending topic situation that I don't know if you wanted to talk about, but with Logan Paul.
Sure.
How did you feel about that?
I was gonna say, what route are we taking? Are we taking the judging what he did, or are we taking the Logan Paul route? Or are we taking the that was pretty funny,
I mean,
route?
I don't pass judgment, so it can't be that route.
Okay. Well, we're only 5 days into 2018 as of today, and what a time to be alive.
It's not really. There's a slow sociopathic wave of internet culture
Like, there's just stuff like this.
coming to dominate the masses.
They're like, "Oh, you thought 2017 was bad?" No, not necessarily. I mean, it hasn't been like really bad. For me, it's actually been pretty good.
Yeah.
Like yesterday was probably the best day I've had in 2 months. So it was nice. But Logan Paul, man, put everyone down.
Well, I feel like at one, like, there's a couple perspectives to look at it. Like, I don't like that stuff. Like, personally, like that kind of, they went too far. But
Yeah.
like at the same time, like today, a lot of people don't know how to cope with death anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem like as normal as it used to
Well,
be.
if you guys don't know, Logan Paul is a big social media influencer, and him and his brother Jake Paul have a lot of ground on YouTube. And didn't they start like vining and stuff?
Yeah, they started on Vine. To me, Logan's the far better one. Sure, he had this thing come up, but I mean, Jake's had a career history of
Badness.
screw ups. But they're like, they're massive entities.
They have a
on
lot
YouTube.
of younger kids in their demographic as well, so it's
I mean, God, those tweens are just,
they're crazy.
they're crazy.
I thought I was crazy.
They're crazy. The youth growing up these days, straight out of their heads.
I don't know what we're gonna do with them. Anyway, so second day of the year, Logan Paul releases what we call a vlog, which I hope you know what that means. If you don't know what that means, go look it up yourself. I'm not gonna tell you. But he releases a vlog of him in Japan with his friends, and he starts it off all like, "Today we're going to the Japanese suicide forest." Like, okay, like you only know this is gonna go one way. At that point,
You would assume.
what do you mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, what? So after, the whole backlash story, he goes, he started it out with, I'd hoped that it would create a ripple of positivity across the internet.
Yeah. Well, what happens is they find a dead body. Like, they find someone who killed themselves, and they end up, like, filming the dead body. Like, they shouldn't have done that, and that's what people...
Yeah.
Like, because they kind of disrespected it a lot.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, it was like they were kind of laughing about it. And it was just really uncomfortable. like, I'm sure...
I don't know how you perceive that to be a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, he was probably thinking, oh, if we show people what happens to someone when they're dead, then they'll be, like, more prone to prevent suicide?
It's more like, hey, if I talk about the situation, right, or show this situation and this kind of thing, and, like, with everything else that I do with my whole YouTube channel, I'll just kind of nonchalantly laugh and remain positive no matter what.
Yeah.
And people will think, and it'll be a positive message.
I mean,
because that's kind of like his forte anyway.
yeah, it is.
No matter what it is, just smile and laugh.
He did say that
And
he did say kind of disclaimerly in the video
yeah,
that he was shooken up about it, and that him laughing was him just trying to cope with it,
Yeah.
because he's like, holy crap, I just found a dead body. I don't know how to handle this kind of
Yeah.
thing. But at the same time, they kind of just exploited it for views, and
sad.
I don't think they monetized the video, did they?
No, that one wasn't
Yeah.
monetized, but the apology video is monetized. So
The one where he apologized.
remember to check that out. And get this, one of the main sponsors when you click on the apology video, Tide Pods.
No. Nice plug. Just throw us right into Tide Pods. God, we didn't even come to a conclusion about Logan.
Well, okay, so it's definitely a mistake. I don't like it. He's gonna suffer a little bit of backlash.
And
and-
that's the end.
There's also a wave of this kind of behavior that just goes. It's kind of the internet's whole manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like on YouTube now. I see so many videos I just don't want to see. Like, oh, scrolling through my feed. Oh, here's somebody getting ran over. Like a straight gory video I couldn't even find on YouTube. It's just on my feed. Or like I seen one the other day where there's this dog crossing the road. Like, this is a real video, and the people don't hit it, right? They don't hit it.
Yeah.
It was on the highway, but they get rear-ended, and then the person behind them ends up hitting them. So it's 3 cars, all like rear end, right?
Yeah.
And the dogs, they all make it, out of the highway, and the people get out, and they're standing there beside their car. Like, they're all outside their car on the left side, and then the semi comes and just runs them all over. Like, literally, they all just get completely ran over by a semi.
Oh my God.
And that's, like, right there on my Facebook feed. And I'm like, I don't want to see this. And, like, that's on, like, so much. It's mainly on Facebook, honestly. I think they're the worst about it.
Yeah, I don't like Facebook, Matt.
Like, it's going down. Like, its reputation's really damaged. That's something we could talk about.
Yeah.
Like, because Mark Zuckerberg himself has even said there's a lot of problems that he wants to fix this year. Because they're actually, for the first time, they're actually losing activity.
Like users?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not using it. I only use it if somebody mentions me on
Yeah.
something or tags me in a photo.
Well, it's kind of like old news because it's just every outlet is kind of like has its niche now. Like Instagram, you've got photos.
Mhm.
Snapchat, you've got your short story or videos.
Yeah.
And people really kind of stick to the cohesive of those two,
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Some of the things I've seen on Facebook, like, have literally shook me to this day.
Shook.
Like, I've seen a guy get literally, like, went straight through a rolly machine. Like, just straight through.
Like a press?
Like a rolling press. And just shot out the back. And I'm like, wow, that's what I wanted to see scrolling through my feed this morning. And it's captioned with some stupid emojis, like, when the machines rise against us. Like, really?
I don't laugh at the things that at the joke they're trying to make. I laugh at how stupid
But I
the
don't
entire meme format is.
I don't think Facebook has a filter for that stuff. Whereas YouTube, if you put that out and it gets reported, they'll take it down.
Yeah.
But with Facebook, it doesn't matter. Like, it just remains a shareable
Oh my God.
video.
What was the other thing you said we could talk about? Because I totally just blanked out here.
Just blanked out.
Just
The Facebook's decline.
yeah. After we started talking about Facebook, I was like, oh, I don't remember what I was gonna talk about.
Flannels.
We used to love the flannels, Matt.
I still love flannels.
But last year
Oh yeah,
was
yeah,
the flannel year.
It kind of was. I only own like one flannel though, bro.
I have like 4.
I would own more, but like I just can't convince myself to drop like $6 to $10 on another flannel.
They're only like 8.
That's too expensive for me, bro. Like I don't.
You
Sometimes
want a
my brain-
$3 flannel?
Yeah, I don't know. Some things I'm just like, how can I spend this much money on them?
Well, last year we had this big thing where we were the flannel boys or something, where we all went and bought these flannels. My voice. We all went and bought these red matching flannels, and we would just wear them all the time. And then we bought. Did you buy a green one?
No. Like I want a green one, but I didn't.
Me and Zach, I think, bought some green ones.
Yeah.
But then I've got this one now that I traded for my red one.
You traded
Yeah,
it?
I wanted a white and black one. Someone was like, "Wow, I really like your red flannel." I'm like, "Well, I've seen you wear a white and black one. You want to trade?"
Yeah.
That's what I did. I wanted the white and black one. Hey, get this though. It was with a girl, so all the buttons are on the wrong side.
Oh no, dude. Like training, your mind is like it's conditioned to know the way you do it.
Yeah.
Because like with men, I don't know why
I have to
they're
sit
not
there, stop everything, and think about how to put these buttons together.
like I don't know why buttons can't just be gender neutral. Like that definitely is something that should
Yeah.
be.
Well, I think I was actually thinking about this earlier. I know why they aren't on the same side. It's just like back when we started doing clothes, like we set the template for clothes. You know what I'm saying?
Who set the template? Like humanity, or
Like
us?
America, or
Okay,
like
yeah.
I guess humanity. Like, because there would be royalty or whatever. Okay, maybe not America, but like, imagine. I guess it's Victorian era or whatever. Victorian. They had people dress other people, and men usually dress themselves, right? So, ladies would usually have like handmaidens or whatever
Yeah.
who dress them. So, since men would dress themselves, they would put those buttons on a certain way,
Yeah.
and so they were put on the other side so that the servants and handmaidens or whatever could put them on easier because they were used
Yeah.
to putting the buttons on, like for themselves, the other way.
So like, even with buttons, did you know that like their belts, like some belts are universal, but like if it like has a buckle or it's actually a design, it's gonna end up going. It goes the opposite way of ours.
Where?
A belt,
Like,
like instead of okay, you know how if you're doing your belt like right
yeah,
there,
like my belt goes this way.
like it goes like this way. Theirs actually would go.
Who's they?
Girls?
Oh, girls.
Yeah.
Really?
Women's belts go the other way.
You're kidding.
No, I'm dead serious.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's another ridiculous thing.
So they're easier to dress and undress.
That way, it's
Sexist
from the
comment, misogynist.
That way, it's from the perspective of how the man would see it. You know what I mean? So it'll just know. It'll just be like second
Well,
nature.
wouldn't it be the same for the ladies though?
Yeah, it would.
You're like, oh, I see the belt on that side, so
like a mirror image.
yeah.
So
I didn't know that with belts though. That's so weird.
yeah, it is.
I knew that it was that way with buttons.
So that.
What
that's
else is it for?
Oh.
What were you saying? Because I totally like stopped you.
I was thinking about how nighttime driving in my car is like such a hassle sometimes.
That was a switch. Wow. Okay.
It is a switch, but you said no pauses, so
Yeah, let's just
So-
keep going. I mean, we're at the 30-minute mark.
yeah. So like, so when I don't know how like people comfortably do it, but like for me it's not very comfortable. So like, so you know my car's pretty low to the ground,
Yeah.
and all that. Like, dude, if you're driving at night and like something comes up on the road and you hit it,
That's it.
you're scraping that, you're hitting that bumper,
Yeah.
which is like on the way down here I was.
And
like,
you've got an expensive car, so that's
Yeah.
why you're all like, when you're driving, you're like, ah.
like on the way down here, like, because sometimes like as an adult, I see these things less, but I really recognize situations as a kid because I think about like how everything factors into like an outcome. It's really wild sometimes.
Yeah.
So like before I left to come over, Kay had said something like to me, like it wasn't like intended bad, but it was just like a cross statement, and it was like, don't like run over anything going down, like don't run over anything on your way to Eli's.
Like she just said that?
Yeah. And so like for me, like when people say that stuff, like I actually think about it. Like I'm like, oh, now that somebody said it, there's a chance it could happen. So like I was like, okay, I'm gonna be I'll be extra careful
That's stressful.
now, right?
Yeah.
So I had to pump gas and everything before I came down. And anyway, I get done pumping gas and I'm like almost out of town on the way, to get on the highway or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just remembered it then. Like that's exactly when it popped back in my head. So I'm thinking about it, and like no more than like a couple feet after that, there's like
Something in the road?
this huge dead dog right in the middle of the road.
What?
And I like swerve over really quick
Oh my god.
and avoid.
On the way here?
Yeah, unavoid like.
So you're not sick. The reason that you're like sitting there all quiet when you first got here is because you almost hit a dog.
Well, like, I'm confident it wouldn't like destroy my car, but at the same time, it would have probably like at least scraped the bottom bumper or damaged it a
Blood on
little.
your car.
Yeah. So it was big though. So like, and sure enough, it was like came out of nowhere, and I'm like, just like yank it over, and I'm like, well, there you go. That's weird because.
It's like, now it won't happen any other time on the way there. So
Well,
that's
I can
good.
come down here like 20 times and never run into it, but like the one time it's mentioned,
Yeah.
there it is.
Jeez. That's like, it's just like anybody jinxing something. Just like,
Yeah.
wow, it's so quiet. And then suddenly a loud sound. Like, it's.
But like with me, like when people do that, actually, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pay extra close attention just to make sure
Yeah.
that doesn't end up happening. You know what I mean?
Are you going to tell her when you get home?
Yeah, I am.
You'll be like, hey, so you know how you said not to run into anything?
I'm gonna tell her. And also, like,
Your life's full of trauma.
I think about just in my car, let alone like, let's say you're a nighttime supercar street racer. Like, let's just say you're in a Lamborghini at
You
midnight.
have 2 kids. You have a nice hot wife, and she's like, come home safe, honey. And you're like, oh no.
Exactly.
Am I not going to come home safe tonight now?
Yeah, like with one of those cars, because I've seen them up close. I don't know if you have, but I've like actually like been to the dealerships and like a museum for them and whatnot.
Mhm.
Some of the modern day supercars are no more than a few inches off the ground.
Oh my god.
So like if you're going like through a parking
You
lot
hit a
with speed-
styrofoam cup.
with speed bumps, you can raise them, like because they have a raise feature.
Yeah.
If you're going under a certain speed, but like if you're literally just driving down the road, you've got like this much clearance. So like
I mean, that does factor into aerodynamics, which, is.
yeah, it does, but you can imagine like the hassle that brings. You can't really get over anything.
There's they call it a gator, right? When there's part of a tire, like a semi-truck tire in the road.
Yeah.
You hit one of those things and, God, you're
Oh,
gone.
Exactly.
Jeez.
So you really got to be on the lookout, and those things in the daytime can be hard to see sometimes, let alone at night.
Like, I see a paper bag in the road, and I think it's an animal.
I do too.
And I'm like, I swerve out of the way. And that's in just the Fusion, and the Fusion's pretty high up compared to your
Yeah.
car.
You'll also I can think about like, cause someone my mom knows who's a truck driver, or I don't know if she's a truck driver, but talked about how one time she bought a new car, and on the way home after buying it, a semi tire exploded, like right in front of her car on the highway, and it ended up shattering the front windshield. The force was so great.
That's horrible.
Dude, semis are actually really scary on the
Yeah.
road. Like when Bernie Sanders was running, everybody was mad at him for talking about wanting to get rid of semis and use a lot more uh, traction to like balance out the load on the highways. But like I was like, I'm all for that.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I mean, I understand their truck drivers get paid a lot. Usually, don't they?
They're they're middle for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
And you can make your cargo depends on like if you're carrying propane, you actually make more.
mhm. Like that wouldn't cause a problem for our company because we're right next to those train tracks.
But
We get semis in all the time.
but like if you're in an accident and a semi is involved, somebody's normally dead.
Yeah. The big, heavy, basically a train flying down the highway.
Yeah.
God.
But my mom does that for a living. And she's always up north.
I know there's a
And-
good community with truck drivers, though.
The roads like ice over. They're going down
Oh.
slippery mountainsides.
Oh.
It's wild. Like I wouldn't want to.
Oh, no. What was that show? Is it called Ice Truckers?
Ice road truckers.
Ice Road Truckers.
So do you know? I looked up. Like obviously they're not all making this, but like the ice road trucker salary. Like, do you know how much it is?
No.
Okay, so to put it in perspective, the ice road trucker, like whole union thing, they're not like, it's a lot of unregulated stuff that goes on being an ice road trucker, because like a lot of the routes and places you have to take are literally like frozen over lakes,
Jesus.
like and they're not even real roads.
Wow.
So you're like driving with a heavy cargo load over a frozen lake in some of these instances. So you're risking your life in freezing temperatures.
I mean, I'm usually comfortable in the snow, but
But
not
some
a
of them,
frozen lake. I'm sorry.
some of them make a couple $100,000 and like half a year. Like that kind of money.
Wow.
Now your average one's only gonna make like 150 grand, but dude, it's a high paying job.
Wow. I mean, you're risking your life.
A lot of them actually end up either dying or being hospitalized.
Jesus. For life. Dude, I was washing my hands at work today in the bathroom, and the
Yeah.
water is so cold. Like, I know that's because it's cold outside, obviously. But, like,
Yeah.
I was sitting there, I'm like, man, feels like I'm dipping my hands in a freezing lake. Like, half of the lake is frozen, and then the other half is water being chilled by the ice.
Yeah.
Even more than the air.
So you want to be an ice road
No.
trucker?
I can't drive in the snow. I don't have
Yeah.
experience yet. Last time we got snow here, our coworkers were not
Dude,
okay.
The Mustangs. Like I know you got some diehard Mustang fans out there.
Yeah. I mean, I like Mustangs like a lot, but
But God,
I could not drive one.
God, is the handling
Mhm.
finicky, man? It's like
Yeah. I can imagine because even in just racing games, they're like so prone to drifting that like you overdo it just a little
Yeah.
bit and it's the whole race is done.
dude, they're drift crazy. Like I was driving like 30 that day.
The day
Like-
with the snow?
Yeah, and do you know how many times like I ended up either fishtailing or drifting? Over 8. I only live 5 minutes from work. Every curve, I'm just like,
No.
so it wasn't fun. I was actually gonna be like, you know, if the snow's still here, I'm just gonna have somebody else drive us home, and I'll take my car in tomorrow. Because my car actually handles that stuff really well, surprisingly, because it's rear-wheel drive, but it's got a lot of front weight.
Yeah, it's close to the ground.
Yeah.
So just plow the snow out of your way.
The Z4 snowplow.
You could attach a snowplow.
One of those modifications that you add that's totally pointless. Like when you see like a Toyota Prius with a guardrail attached to the hood.
A ramming grill.
Yeah. Like, just for when you need to rear end a diesel user. Get that fossil fuel burning punk off the streets.
I've had some bad experiences with snowy roads, Matt. I almost died on one.
Oh, really?
I'm sure you've heard of it.
No, you never
We didn't
told
tell you
me.
about
I don't think
I'm
you
sure
have.
Zach or my mom did.
Oh, are you talking about your trip?
On the trip.
A year or two
Well,
ago. Or maybe not even
I don't even know if I was vlogging that trip. No, I don't think I did. Coincidentally, I didn't vlog that one. I don't really have footage. I might actually. I might have footage. I may have talked about it.
Yeah.
But I never finished editing that vlog, so you wouldn't find it anywhere. I need to do that.
Did you have footage of, like, you wrecking?
No. No. I was actually asleep when we
Oh, really?
when we
Did you-
started to like swerve off the road. What happened was there was the roads were mostly clear.
Yeah.
So there's snow off to the side, and there's still some snow falling, but the roads are clear for the most part. So my mom's driving at maybe 60 miles an hour. She's not really worried about hitting snow because it's been cleared.
Yeah.
But there's this one patch under a bridge that she hits. Like, it's just past the bridge.
Yeah.
So, like, she hits it, and then I'm sitting down. I'm asleep.
Traction's just lost.
Yeah. Zach's leaning back in his passenger seat, and I'm, like, I'm buckled in, so I'm kind of leaning into, like, whatever bedding we had back there. 'Cause
Yeah.
we like to sleep in the back of the car. And so I wake up, and I put my hands on my mom's and Zach's seat, and I look out the window, and everything's just spinning. We must have spun like 3 times.
Jesus.
And then I feel us go backwards, and then I see these poles, like roadside poles.
Yeah.
And we just slip right between 2 of them, and then skid to a stop, and come back around facing the road again.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't die. And if we had hit one of those, though, it would have been like, bang, and the whole car would have been really messed up.
Yeah.
But I think
But you still got your family still has that car, right?
no,
Oh, you
it was a
don't?
rental car,
Oh.
so it had OnStar. Press the button.
Man, I bet because it was a Ford Fusion.
No,
Oh.
it wasn't a Fusion. I think it was a Dodge something.
Because I don't know, Fusions have really good traction. The ones. that
Yeah,
I've driven.
all I know is I wake up and the whole world is spinning. My mom's sitting there cursing end over end. She's like, no. Zach's like, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
But my mom's just like, we stop, and then she's just like,
Zach's gonna wipe out one of these days.
with how he drives, maybe.
I think so.
I ride everywhere with him, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna end up.
So you're used to
Well,
it.
yeah, and then I'm gonna end up dying if he does crash.
Probably the airbags aren't gonna deploy.
Are you serious?
Yes.
You're at the airbags in the Impala don't work?
They didn't work when I totaled it. So they
Matt
didn't.
sold Zach's car to him.
But I mean, like when I wrecked it, they never came out.
Oh my god.
And but I'm actually glad they didn't, or I would have ended up actually getting hurt.
What do you mean?
So I got hurt 0. Like nothing happened.
Yeah.
So if the airbag came out, I would have ended up getting a little hurt.
Like a face full of air.
Yeah.
Bam.
A lot of people, their whole face is bruised for like a week or 2
Yeah.
after they get hit by one of them.
Where-
There's even been this was actually on Mythbusters, Mythbusters. A lady had her thumbs on the
Did she
wheel.
break her thumbs?
Yeah, and it's such force that it like just popped her thumbs backwards. Dude, that would be insanely painful. Like imagine you just wrecked and now like you don't even have
Like your car's
opposable
just
thumb.
like a little banged up, but now your thumbs are gone.
Just
You're a musician, no longer. You play video games, no longer.
man. That would be rough.
That would be, especially the video games. Well, we've hit the 46 minutes.
Well, I mean, yeah, we did. But, okay.
Go ahead.
On an end note, I mean, Doctor Strange drove off a cliff in a Lamborghini, and he was a surgeon who lost all function, and guess what? He still made it back.
Yeah. Through the power of sorcery. You
So if
can
you're-
become a sorcerer too.
So if you lose your thumbs in a collision and you're just take up black magic and you'll be back in no time.
Join the Dark Brotherhood. Hail
So,
Sithis.
Could you imagine that somebody to ask you, they'd be like, "So why'd you decide to join? You know, the
I
Brotherhood."
broke both of my thumbs.
I was coming home after buying groceries, you know, for the family, and I hit like this stump, and my airbag just
Ripped my thumbs off.
seemed like the natural next step.
Quentin Tarantino's gonna make a movie about me. My ripped off thumb.
So, that's about all we have time for.
Yeah. But with all these terrible things, Matt, at least there's one good thing still around in 2018.
And that's,
The Basic Podcast.
yeah, very true. We're hitting our second year here
I know.
of doing
It's
this.
amazing we've stayed around this long.
So
Nobody
yeah,
loves us, Matt. Nobody cares.
They don't have to care at first, because you know it's like Bill Gates says.
What's that? Hello, I'm Bill Gates.
It's something along the. It doesn't matter if they want you or yada yada. You just have to make them need you. So that's.
I'm
what
sure
it's
he's
all
also
about.
said, hello, I'm Bill Gates.
Maybe not in that order,
Yeah.
but he said those
He
words.
said those words.
So hope you enjoyed.
Give us a like.
If you did, like and subscribe.
I mean, if you want.
New videos every week, Monday at noon.
Except for the 1 week where we mess everything up and the files are corrupted.
We're still working out all the kinks, but
We'll always be right.
we're
here.
delivering quality content as best we can. And signing out,
Yeah. Thanks for watching the Basic Podcast. That's Matt.
Eli.
See.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Dun, dun.